everyone, I'm Raghu Nandakumara, one of the Field CTOs at Illumio, and today I have the pleasure of being joined by Rob Ragan, Principal Researcher at Red Team Specialists, Bishop Fox. Rob, thanks for being with us today.
Thanks for having me.
So tell us about yourself and Bishop Fox.
Yeah, absolutely. So I help a lot of our customers design security solutions, help evaluate their goals from a security perspective. And for the last 15 years, Bishop Fox has been very focused on offensive security and adversarial simulation.
Okay, so you got engaged with Illumio to do some testing. Can you tell us a bit about what you were testing and the tests you ran?
Yeah, absolutely. We were really focused on testing the effects of segmentation on deterring or delaying an attacker. And we designed a methodology from scratch to evaluate this that had both a control and then ever increasing levels of segmentation in place to see what the effect was on our ability to pivot within a network.
Okay, so before we get into some of the tests, can you tell us about the highlights of the findings, please?
From a highlights perspective, we really did prove that segmentation matters. The stricter the roles are, the harder it is for an attacker to move around and get to a trophy target. All of our tests did have a trophy target in mind in the form of some PII and a secured database, but we eventually had to find ways to even discover a route to access that data.
Are you able to share maybe one or two sort of key stats about how much more difficult it became?
It got increasingly difficult in the magnitude of 300, 600, 900% increases over the levels of controls that we had through each simulation.
Did you have to change your tactics to kind of deal with the way the segmentation was restricting your access, and why?
Yeah, we decided to adapt at one point. I'd say directly related to the MITRE ATT&CK framework, TTPs, the network scanning was one that was significantly impacted by the micro-segmentation controls. Way that we had to adapt was, rather than trying to scan the broader ranges, we looked more closely at the host and what was defined in the IP tables, that it was essentially an allowed list of ranges that it could talk to, and we shifted to scanning those and only those instead of the broader network that we observed to be on.
What are your views on microsegmentation as a security control?
I'd say overall it's a really effective measure to slow down attackers in a compromised network, or where there's been a host that's been breached, perhaps through malware or through some other means, where then the attacker has to discover what is on the network that is available to them. Segmentation and using allowed or denied lists can be really effective at mitigating the risk of where they can go.
Okay, and so as Red Team specialists then, right, in future engagements where you're called in from clients, how are you going to be using this activity in those future engagements?
Yeah, I'd say if we identify this type of control in our future adversarial simulations, we really, I'd say, explored a lot of other angles where we tried to disable the agent on the host, which that was found not to be effective. That actually forced us to be locked down even more. We also, I'd say, would have to adapt our approach to studying the host a bit more to see if there are these types of software-defined network controls in place, and then deciding more carefully what we do for our next steps of discovery. But I'd say all around it was an effective way to slow us down, and Illumio really worked as advertised.
So finally, Rob, what would be your recommendations to the blue team to defend the enterprise?
I'd say overall network segmentation is a really effective control. If a blue team should have visibility into the trust relationships between their assets, and especially where their crown jewels or their trophy targets are. Network segmentation ultimately, when implemented well, is going to greatly increase the amount of time and effort an attacker has to spend in order to achieve their goal. And I think blue teams are all looking for an easier way to manage their segmentation.
Well, Rob, thank you very much for your time today. And for everyone who's watching this, if you're interested in finding out in more detail about the report, go to illumio.com and download it. Thank you very much.